And action! Welcome back to Written and Directed By. I am your host, Harrison Berger. Oh, we have the crowd. We have a crowd today.
Couple of clappers.
Oh, hello.
And Justin.
What's up, Harrison?
Yeah, and Justin's here. Hey, guys. So today on the show, we have very special guests, my good friends. I hope I can call you guys good friends now.
We're more
Yes,
than friends,
yes,
Harrison.
yes. Oh,
yes.
That
The-
pre-show warm-up.
The soon-to-be famous band Bear Squared.
We would hope so.
Thank
At least
you.
so
If
that
the
we
gods,
can
yeah.
play music and survive.
I see
Not
it.
off
I
food
see it
stamps.
happening.
If
see that.
Zeus blesses it, then it'll happen.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. Zeus is going to bless us.
Yeah.
Then we're going to be called the Children of Zeus. That'll be our band.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Gonna get into heavy metal.
We will talk about that.
Yeah.
We will.
All right, cool. I'm excited. All right, well, thanks for
Be
being
fun.
on today, guys.
Yeah,
I
thanks
really
for having us.
appreciate it. I've
Thank you.
been trying to get Steven to come on for at least over a month.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I'm slowly awaiting until my film's more ready.
Yeah, so for everyone
I
that's
thought Bear
listening,
Squared's trending higher right now. Let's go in the trending direction.
yeah, so for everyone that's listening or watching, this is the Steven I've been talking about.
Not sure that's good or bad. Nice to meet y'all.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And he had a great idea, and I actually didn't think about it, which is shame on me. But he said, "Why don't we have Bear Squared come on and we'll play some songs? We could talk about the band." And it is a brilliant idea, I think.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on. And
we
then
got some music to share, and we're honored and happy to be here, and hope we can entertain and inspire.
I hope so. I think so.
Right.
And eventually you'll come on solo because you're obviously just a pussy.
Exactly. From the
Big
waist,
time.
only from
I'll
the
tell you what. I'll tell you what.
only from the waist down.
Like Buck Angel, huh?
Oh, my idol. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
I like Buck Angel.
Well, that's on the record now. Anyway,
Shit.
yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, this is Steven. I already introduced this.
Yeah, I
buddy.
play bass in Bear Squared,
Yeah.
and I've been jamming with his band for a couple years now, and these are my bandmates.
Yeah. So,
I'm Graham. I play drums for Bear Squared. I've been in the band for about 2 years now. Met Gay Joe over here through Craigslist, believe it or not. And ever since, it's been absolutely terrible. So I'm just looking for a way out.
Is it terrible or terrifying more than terrible? I think it's been pretty scary.
Slumber parties don't help.
Yeah, they don't.
Um,
can I get in on that?
Well, you play your cards right, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Anyway, and you are Gay Joe or Joseph.
yes. So, that nickname we can get into
Yeah, but let's
later.
please.
Yep.
Okay,
And-
later.
and, Yeah, I mean we can get into it.
Well, whenever you want to come out, it's fine.
I want to make it very clear that name did not originate from me, and I take no offense to that. But I am very feminist, and I am very pro-gay supporting. To the point that literally I'm wearing Wazi, which is, they're
Great
one of our
record.
great friends, and they are very big in that community.
Yeah, they are. They're tight.
Check 'em
so
out.
yeah, the Gay Joe thing, I think it's funny. It's good.
Do you ever get shit
but-
for it?
What was it?
Do you get shit for it? Like, do people
No,
get mad
I
at
don't,
you?
I don't get shit for it. I just want to go on the record saying,
Yeah.
like on the actual record.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Saying
This is actual
that,
record.
Because there's been occasions where that name has been brought up with people who may or may not be gay, and I just want to make sure that they don't get offended.
Because I mean, the first time I met you,
like Steve.
Justin told me about it. He's like, yeah, Steven's going to be here, and then Gay Joe's going to be here. And I just assumed that you were gay, and that they just flat out called you Gay Joe because of the fact that you were gay.
Gay has many definitions,
Yeah.
so
Of course. I mean,
Many.
we're not that binary. In
but
this
we're-
regard.
We're
Is anyone
2018.
completely straight?
Exactly.
guess so.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Justin, you're completely gay.
There's a guy behind the camera.
Yeah, we have a camera out
He's
today. I
flexing
guess.
and wearing a Batman shirt. I mean, there's no other words I can put to that. Quickly, let's segue out of Justin flexing, please.
Yeah, it's getting weird.
So I'm Joe. I sing. I play guitar in the band. Steve and I have been playing together for maybe 8 or so years at this point.
Oh, wow.
Graham and I and Steven have been playing together. Graham and I have been playing longer by like one session because I recruited him.
Nice, yeah.
And
Joe and I grew up playing without drummers for a long time because we didn't get along with a lot of them for a long time. So Graham came along and it was like
Just serendipity.
it all worked out nicely.
Well, he's multi-instrumentalist. He's an artist.
He's bi-instrumental. Try
Yeah.
quadra-instrumental.
Whoa,
He
don't
plays
bring
a lot.
math into this.
He plays a lot of
Yeah,
instruments.
we'll be real in the sense that a lot of I drumming percussion adds everything, all the energy to the mix,
Because that's like the bass, right? That's like the bass line, like the not like
Well,
the bass line, but like the foundation of like where you get your tempo and your rhythm.
It's like it's basically like where you get people from feeling to moving
Okay.
and dancing,
Yeah.
and that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But you get someone who understands art, and you get a completely different band,
Right.
You get a drummer who's not saying, let's play faster. Let's play fast. Oh, no, blah. Oh, it's your guys' fault. You guys are too slow. Blah, blah. Or stopping in the middle of it and being like, oh, you guys slipped up 2 BPM. Like, let's restart. To someone who just feels it, and can play multiple instruments.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what?
Literally, like, he'll show you in a bit. He's going to be playing acoustic guitar.
Oh, so you play drums, guitar. What else?
Bass, piano.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty filthy bassist. I'm pretty jealous.
I mean, anything I can get my hands on, really.
That's awesome.
True
I
artist.
think it's really just like, what notes go together.
Mhm.
If you understand notes, then you can really learn any instrument.
Right.
And I think that applies to anything, really. If you can find a way to understand it, you can find formulas and make your own methods on how to learn and teach yourself. And
Right.
that's kind of what I did growing up. Was I never had any guitar lessons, no bass lessons, no piano.
Really?
I had
Wow.
I did percussion class in middle school, and that was the only training I had in drums too. And so really all it was just playing so much and fucking up and playing messy until you come up with something accidental that you're just like, whoa, and then you just record it. You take your mom's iPhone because you don't have one yet, and you
roll with it.
pop up the voice memos. And now today, I probably have like 250 voice memos on my phone, all riffs from way back in 6th or 7th grade, and all of them are to this day still ones that I want to play and record in some way.
That's awesome.
Graham started young, 6th and 7th grade.
Oh, 3rd grade.
Really? Yeah. See, I didn't even
Got
touch an
my-
instrument until I was 18.
Got my
I
drum
tried.
set in 3rd grade. Played my first show in 5th grade, and
Damn.
ever since.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does the recorder count as an instrument?
It
I
does.
played
It
that.
does, yeah.
I played that in 7th
And
grade
that's
then.
how
So
I
That
know
that
you
late?
went to Catholic school.
they forced the recorders on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
they
you.
do.
Yeah.
No comment on that.
For the record, I just want to say I think that should be instilled in every school is to have recorder lessons.
I played
Yeah.
recorder in elementary school.
All throughout something.
Yeah,
something
they
that,
should be
you
pushing
know,
art on people.
Because otherwise, what else do you have that's really pushing you in the musical direction
Agreed.
other than that 30-minute music class
Yeah.
that you have during
I
school?
know.
Yeah.
She's all
When
the,
that can be the most important way to find ways to be more creative
Or
in
express
creating
yourself.
anything.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I think it's bullshit that there's trying to strip away arts programs.
liberal
at
arts
school.
stuff. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. That's what is, driving the industry. And, the logos that you see today, Facebook, all those things, where did they come from? They came from very creative people that were either on LSD or they were completely sober.
Yeah.
And they just had these visions come to mind. But, who knows what kind of background they had to get them to that point, whether it was a bleak, sheltered background of growing up in a suburban household and, going to school and getting good grades, going to college as expected,
Mhm.
or whether it was getting in trouble a lot and skipping class and, just kind of accidentally falling into things. Either way, you could end up in the same point, no matter
Yeah.
what your background is.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's so cool about music is that it's kind of brought us around in that sense is when we're writing, we've all come from different backgrounds, so it creates a whole different sound out of that.
Yeah, that's something we should really emphasize. We grew up not listening to any of the same music, all three of us,
Really?
at all.
Well, we all listen to the same music. We do have connecting elements. It's just the writing portion of it. We just don't. We play. I mean, why would you become a drummer? Why would you become a bassist? Why would I become a singer? You know, we all have our different backgrounds and
Totally.
why.
Mhm.
And you know, like for me, I wasn't allowed to play guitar.
Really?
growing up. Yeah.
Why? Like,
My parents, they were like, you need to play sports, you know? They were like, you're too, like, feminine, this and that, you know? And they were just like, you need to play sports. Like, you know, I would literally play...
all right. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, Joe. So, you were saying that your parents didn't want you to play?
Yeah. So, one thing that I wanted to do more than anything was play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And so my parents, they're, you know, like, I don't know, my dad, did somebody just fart?
No, I moved, and
It was definitely Steven.
I just heard
Come
a
on.
fart, and I literally, like, you saw. But nonetheless.
the smell will tell. So we'll see if it smells. Then you can say I did.
Graham, can you check
Check what?
his ass?
I will not.
So your parents were strict, but like, was it
Oh, I had a very strict childhood.
okay?
But regardless of that, you know, like I'd be playing soccer, and they would move me to goalie. Nothing against goalies, but like just because I would just sit there and like pick up like dandelions and shit and just fucking blow.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care. You know?
That was me in baseball.
Yeah, like I didn't
sit
give
in
a
the
fuck.
outfield and just pick grass.
Yeah, like I just didn't care, and like I wanted to play guitar so bad, and they just wouldn't let me. You know.
Yeah.
They were like, too feminine. You need to be more manly, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I didn't even find out about that until later in life. Like, I knew that I couldn't play guitar, like, for a long time. And I actually got my first guitar from my little brother because he was really good at sports. So they bought him a guitar.
Oh,
You know?
interesting.
And then he never used it. So then I just fucking took it. You know? Like, I was like... But that's how I started singing, because singing was the way that I could express myself. And
So you were singing before you started playing guitar?
yeah,
Okay.
I started singing, and then I was collaborating with people who were singing or playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like, you know what? Like every time that this person is available to play guitar, I don't want to, you know, like it just didn't, like scheduling, like we all know, like scheduling sucks. Like if we weren't at the skill levels that we are at right now, and we were all just starting out, like we would never survive, you know? Like that's just hands down. So you need to cut, I mean, if you plan on making it in the music industry at all whatsoever, you know, whatever is left of it, you know, you need to come in with a passion. And you need to come in with some skills, you know?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Just cut out everything Steve says.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why you haven't heard Steve.
Yeah, I'm done talking, Joe.
Just
Joe gets weird when I stop
Actually,
talking.
So I actually had a question
That's how you'll know.
about you started saying about how like coming up, if you had to like start now, how, as far as like the industry is going now, how do you think it's super intense to get going in it now? Like even as people, as a group that isn't like fresh together, but like, you know, you have music out on Spotify, you're working on your guys' albums and things like that. So as people that are, as a group that's currently in it, like, is it still difficult versus like if I wanted to start a band tomorrow, you know, how like how much easy?
I'll say what I'm gonna say,
Uh-huh.
and then I want to hear like what each of them want to say. because we all had this conversation literally yesterday.
Okay.
We did like a practice session and whatnot, and basically, you know, from my thought process, you know, at this point, you know, you have to have some sort of way of getting finances,
Right.
you know, like, and the thing is one thing that I've realized from just doing multiple different things is that what ends up happening is you get very focused into something that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then the moment there was a turning point, like when I was getting my master's. You remember, like I was getting my master's, and I was like, do I want to pursue this path of getting my master's? But I also had a job working in a music studio,
Okay.
you know, and I saw how they were living, and I saw that like they lost why they were in the industry in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of them. And this was a pretty decent studio that I was working at, you know? And nonetheless, you know, you're talking to these people and they're talking about their past experiences and reliving them and this and that, but they're not happy, you know? And in life, in my opinion, what matters is being happy.
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is like, you know, when you if you go into this industry just thinking that you're gonna write good music and this and that, and just all of a sudden you're gonna be like shitting out $100 bills, then you're gonna wake up and you're literally gonna be a roadie, fucking, you know, no offense to roadies, but
they're important.
literally like you're not going to be doing what you went into this industry to do. And you know, you look at artists. I saw a band the other day. You know, I'll say it right now. I saw Borns the other day. You know, I saw Borns like 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago at Coachella. He was playing piano, singing. I don't know if you've heard him before, but he's got like an angelic voice. And I saw him, and he was just completely like he just didn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and he was so worn out. And not only that, but he was wearing like Nike like short shorts and like a Nike like thing that looked like a crop top with like a track jacket. And he literally stopped in between songs, posed, and like said something like Nike promo.
Oh, yikes.
And like and I know just because of the research that I've done that he probably like, you know, the cut of him like getting from that is so minimal, you know, to the point that degrading yourself to that level is literally probably because of the fact that he signed a shitty contract and he's stuck in a situation where they tell him what to do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So at this point, like, you have to be smart about going in this industry, and you have to love what you do.
100%.
And you have to have passion, and you have to feel that what you're doing is you're reviving something that has been caught in this whole, you know, I mean, you see it right now. You saw it in 2008 with housing. You see it all across. It's just greed, you know?
Yeah.
Greed. And right now, I think is the perfect time. Music needs to come back to music.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Steven can agree to this. It's the same thing that's happening in the film industry as well. Everything is the same. It's all about dollars and cents. Like there's no original content anymore unless you're talking about streaming.
Not from the studios.
Yeah,
at least.
it's all blockbuster movies. It's all what can we make the dollar on. And people that I've talked to, it's all about if you're doing this, it's you have to love it. You have you know, and that's what I'm excited for to do is to bring back like what's missing from Hollywood. And I think what I love about you guys is how different your sound is and how unique it is that would like it catches your ear and you're like, what is that? And how can I find more of this? And I mean, like, that's how I felt when I first heard you guys is when
Thanks,
you guys
dude.
were done, I wanted more. And I feel that every time I see you guys.
Well, you're gonna get more soon, for sure.
I'm excited.
I promise.
I've never heard that after sex.
Yeah.
Well, just come over more often.
Yeah.
We can get Justin to tell you that too.
Where is that little guy?
I don't know. Hey, little guy.
Anyway, yeah. Back to what Joe was saying though, the music industry, it's different.
Mm.
I mean, blame technology if you want, but
you
Joe and I,
think-
we were talking about it yesterday that we think it's sad to say, but unfortunately, it's about like having lots of followers more than talent, and you have
Yeah.
to learn to market yourselves accordingly. Because if you don't have a ton of followers, promoters will look at you differently. And if you have no talent, a ton of followers, you'll get attention.
Right.
It's completely flipped upside down and ass backwards and insane, but that's the world we live in. So
Do you think technology, like streaming services, has a lot to do with the industry kind of?
yeah,
Falling
absolutely directly declined it.
I think
Absolutely.
with any kind of technological advancement, there's always the good and bad outcomes of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's always pros and cons, and I think with the streaming, there's so many more artists these days that can do it themselves.
Right.
They don't have to rely on a label. Like take Chance the Rapper, for instance. He did so much on his own and like said no to so many labels and was able to. He's doing so much right now and just
Yeah.
killing it because he just believes in his own product and the way he can put it out there, as opposed to a company that thinks they can put it out better than him.
Right.
And I think that's something that we're striving for as well, is that we're making it so that we're self-sufficient with or without any kind of help from a financial structure or something like that. And I think it's kind of proving itself right now through our shows, our music that's being created, and everything that goes into that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we got a fucking encore at the Rainbow Room.
Yeah,
from
I was there.
The
Random
rainbow.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
First band and only band that got an encore, so it's the most random thing too.
Yeah, it was a cool venue to play.
Yeah.
First Sunset Strip show, first
yeah.
real Sunset Strip show
Yeah.
that we played.
And that was with a good friend of ours, Ian Down, who's an amazing musician as well. He records. He's got his own label, SKR, and he's just killing it right now as well.
Yeah.
That's
He's,
awesome.
We're playing. That's what we're playing on November 10th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
SKR Studios.
That's awesome.
Little private event. It should be fun.
I'm
Couple
excited for
drinks.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be there.
I'm gonna be there.
We'll
And
try to
I'm
get you on the
gonna be-
list. I don't know if it's
I
gonna.
mean, he is the cameraman, and in a lot of scenarios, the cameraman's important.
He'll be number one.
Justin's your cameraman, but he's not. He's got something else to do. I
Busy
guess.
flexing out of state. Yeah. Mhm.
But I'll tell you guys right now who's been killing it
Who's that? Graham.
on the fucking marketing materials. So, like, one of the things that we've changed recently is, and I would advise any bands, once you get to the point where you realize, hey, this is the sound that I want, and I'm totally cool with recording multiple albums with these people. Once you get to that point, that confidence level.
Yeah.
And I think after my surgery, like when we took that hiatus, we all realized, we were burnt out at that point. Like we were playing shows, and the thing is a lot of people. Someone circled me back after this to where my original point was, because I have really bad ADD. But the thing was that when I got my shoulder surgery, we were playing shows that it was just like, it's basically the way that it is how can you beg your friends to go to this shitty fucking bar
Yeah.
on a weeknight just to see your band, and then they leave right after?
Right.
That's like how it is, right?
Well, because venues today, most of the time, they're really bars that created a venue space within their own bar area to just really up their bar sales.
Right.
So it's really not even about the bands as much. I mean, the most you get out of it is making a connection with the promoter that books the bands for that show.
Right.
Because what they can do is connect you with other people or get you at a better place where it actually matters and random people actually come out and see you, like our good friend Ian Down, who's been really just kind of getting us out in new places like Sunset Strip, playing at the Rainbow, and just things like that. It's really just kind of been getting new faces out there, and it kind of helps in many ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, that's like the true position of a promoter, is to bring out fans, but today all they're really doing is getting you the show, and then you get your own fans, which is most of the time your friends,
right?
And so you kind of either have to pick and choose which ones you invite them to, or you spam them every time you have a show coming up.
Yeah.
It's just it feels awful just being like, hey, like come, like can you come out to like that's a Thursday, or Thursday's a good fucking night.
Great night.
Wednesday, like I mean Saturdays and Fridays are the best,
Right.
But, like you have to work for those.
Yeah.
Like those are very difficult to get, Yeah. And at this point right now we're playing like fucking Friday night at Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope and it feels great.
It was awesome.
It feels like we've really like progressed really far in terms of just we chose to focus on music and chose and it feels good when you choose to focus on music and you choose to be open-minded and you choose to say, you know what, we're progressive and we might have all different backgrounds, but we all bring things to the table,
right? Yeah.
And then you come to songs and you play them in front of people. Sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes people do. Sometimes it's Run, which is Graham's favorite song. And then
take that off the record.
Inside joke.
And then other times,
Yeah. I mean, and I think with all that, because you can't really rely on random faces all the time, one thing you can turn to a lot is the marketing aspect of your band. And whatever way you can get it out there, whether it's physical flyers on posts, which, barely works half the time, or it's, just Facebook, Instagram, any kind of social media that really today is the only way to get out to people, and still is very hard to reach and get them to physically get up out of their house and leave that comfort zone to go see something they've never seen before.
100%.
And, risk it to whether it's good or bad or waste their night or, shows them a complete whole new experience. Yeah. And that's one thing that we've really been striving for right now, is that kind of original style or origin that you kind of find, looking at your roots and seeing what is our image, like what kind of visuals do people get when they hear us, and how can we match that with our sound and market that so that way when we put it out there, it seems uniform and it seems like a whole piece of art, not just a combination of many different things as a collage. Like we put it together and it's one entity. Bear Squared is an image, a visual, and a sound all at the same time. And I think that's how we put it out there.
That's awesome. I love it. So I know Steven's music is like kind of jam bandy, we kind of have a very similar style of music that we like, and I remember he told me that you guys don't listen to the same music. Like, so when you come together, does it affect playing? Because you guys don't obviously play. You play multiple instruments.
I want to hear Steve's thought.
Yeah.
I think we come from three very different outlooks on music and three different, completely different styles. I mean, I grew up in an Orange County music scene that was either punk rock or reggae, and like when I met Joe, like Joe knew Sublime. That's how we kind of got along at first and whatnot. But like a lot of the songs I know, Joe doesn't know, and almost every song that he knows, like Radiohead and all this stuff, I don't really know. So we have this total yin and yang thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. You knew the Sublime stuff. I didn't know a lot of your music, and I was in a very distinct style of music, and I played my bass a very specific way, and you'd think our styles wouldn't, work together at all, and they totally do. And yeah, same with Graham. Graham and I clicked immediately, and I guarantee you, Graham and I don't go home listening to the same music.
Not at all.
Not even comparable. Yeah,
I'm sure we would listen to it and appreciate each other's music if we showed each other.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that we wouldn't.
It's it's just this very open-minded environment when
That's
it
great.
is writing, and I think it could be something as weird as he's playing a reggae bass, but I'm putting a hard rock beat behind it, and that's what makes our sound is this weird
But what am I doing?
Joe's just in the back doing nothing. He's
Exactly.
reading half
He's
the time.
staring at us.
He's pretty much
Yeah.
useless in the band.
That's kind of how we're changing. We're like Graham and I would play something, and Joe would add layers to it, and then Joe would add words to it. But now we've got this new dynamic where we will do that, and then we'll take and obviously add a whole new progressive layer that we really haven't even divin. What's the past tense to dive? We've dove back deep, like dove deeper
Yeah.
into it, and added this like whole new dynamic that we haven't really shown anyone at all yet, and we kind of found our little niche. We think.
That's awesome.
All right.
Can we
talk about
what-
one moment?
Yeah, is it doved or deep? Dived?
Doug?
Dividended?
Would it be
Forget about it. That's
haven't dug deep enough yet?
Divin?
David.
Divided?
That's what it is. It's divid.
So, this was a big moment. This was a big moment for
Uh-huh.
me. Okay. We are all hanging out and jamming, and you'll see on November 10th. But I'll spoil it right now. Basically, what happened was so I bought like a new guitar and all that. Like I was feeling very confident in the band, which I am like at this point it's the most confident I've ever felt in the band. And I bought this like fucking $200 pedal that basically takes my guitar and turns it into like an 80s synth.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And like we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
And I just like I played it a little bit here and there, blah blah. We have our show coming up, like let's not fuck around too much. Let's get ready for the show, blah blah. And then it just felt like the right time, and I kick it on, and kick it on is just like
No, it was more like. There you go.
Yeah, and it kind of fits our look and our branding and our style,
yeah.
and it's going to push us in a different direction completely.
That's so
like
awesome.
Well,
we're already going progressive,
Yeah.
but we're going to go like 80s synth, Bear Squared progressive,
Well,
something
and
different.
Who knows what the fuck?
Yeah.
We go. But it's just that energy
Yeah.
of I spend $200 on a pedal. It's past the return period time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I don't use, if we don't use it together, I'll fucking maybe sit on it.
Right.
Like on my spare time.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I'll play it regardless. But the fact that when I turned that on and it was such a different sound, you're playing a fucking rock song that's like one of like our like most like
Standard.
alternative rock songs. Like if you look at like the Strokes and whatnot, like you take like the Strokes, this song is most similar to that, and then all of a sudden it just breaks down into 80s synth, and then it just breaks down to fucking sick bass line and then sick drums, and like then we're just fucking all vibing. And like if you listen to the original recording of it, because I recorded it on my phone, like they kept the tempo going and they kept the beat going, but you can hear in the background like, what the fuck? That's sick. Blah, blah. And like it's just like
It was definitely a breakthrough,
That's awesome.
and it's going to change everything.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think honestly I think we could throw anything on the table at this point. Like.
So are you guys open, like, to experimenting each time? Like, do you have like not like a certain specific sound, but like, so from song to song, is it completely different?
Completely.
You don't like say like this is our niche style, we're gonna stick to this, or it's like this is how this song sounds, and like this is however this second song sounds.
I think that's how we work, is the fact that like we all of us have our favorite songs, and they're different.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is like we bring elements to bring it down to kind of this central point in a sense. But in the reality of things, you look at it and you're right here in the galaxy. This is the sun. And,
We're going deep.
You have fucking, Graham's idea of it. Steve's idea of it, my idea of it, and we meet like somewhere over here,
Mhm.
you know?
In the habitable zone.
You know? Exactly. And it's habitable. And if it's not habitable, we'll find out the first time we play it.
Yeah.
If people aren't vibing and they just stop, we'll just be like, oh, well, maybe we just didn't do it right,
Mm.
And it's a good process. I think we have a good process down to be, as far as success goes in the music industry, I feel good about where we are right now.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. I really am. Like, I've never heard a sound like it. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like, a music expert by any means, but I've gone through my phases of music listening from, probably started listening to rap. Like, my brother was really into rap, but my dad, he grew up in the 70s and 80s, so I grew up listening to Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Kiss. Like, my first concert was Kiss.
Nice.
So I've gone all over the map with music, but there's something so just out there in like the best way possible with your music that I think it'll just fucking explode for you. I really feel that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's a combination from the difference in backgrounds and that element of experimenting whenever we get together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what creates these new songs that sounds like nothing else. And I think even coming like from my own background, some of the first bands I got into when I was in elementary school, my dad was a huge Hendrix fan.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimi Hendrix to this day is one of my main influences. Him, Buddy Rich,
And we are a three-piece like Hendrix.
Yeah, and
So
even Dave Grohl, another hometown Virginia man. He's another idol I look towards. And Dave Matthews too, Charlottesville. Those guys kill it. And I think those kinds of things, like just playing in a band back then. And first song I ever learned in my band in 5th grade was Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. And that alone just like started this whole trend. Then comes 7th grade, we're playing Mars Volta, and it's like we're just like, where is it from here? And then like you're playing like these weird progressive jazz songs where it goes from jazz to metal to rock to jazz to reggae to jazz to rock to whatever, and it goes on for 2.5 hours straight in somebody's basement.
That's sick.
Usually my basement. Like,
Yeah,
my
that
basement
sounds crazy.
was this wood-paneled 70s looking jam basement that you'd spill drinks on the ground. New carpet every year because it was just always messy. But like you'd have 15 or 20 of your best friends come over. There's only like 3 or 4 of you that can even play instruments. But what I would do, I had 2 of my best friends that they always, their minds were ahead of their physical abilities. So they would have this riff they wish they could play, but they didn't know how to play the instrument. And so I took some time to teach one of my friends how to play bass, and I taught another friend how to play keyboard. So it gave me people to play with.
Yeah.
So that when I didn't have my other bandmates or people to jam with, I could just tell them, I'd be like, hey, here's a riff. Show them on bass. Hey, you, play this on keyboard, repeat it this many times, we'll go back and forth on 2 riffs. And then we would just make a mini song out of it, but we would play it for 3 hours.
That's awesome.
And then at the end of it, you're either hating each other and you just want to go smoke weed and go longboard, or you're loving it and you want to record it. And that's when you break out the voice memos once again. And voice memos, that saves your records and your life.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
well said.
Yeah, so you guys are gonna be playing 2 songs for us, for the listeners tonight. What's the first one gonna be?
First one, Animals, is actually a single newly released, and it's also on Spotify,
Ooh.
Apple Music,
Wow.
and you can find it anywhere.
I'll link it below. I'll put the
Yes.
links below.
But yes.
So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break and let the guys play. You'll be able to hear.
Just a quick
Yeah,
note.
please.
The artwork
Mm-hmm.
is some of the best artwork that we've ever seen. And yeah.
On that note.
So
On that note, guys, take it away.
just for breathing. Their lungs are better than yours. Take your turn and they'll treat you just like everyone but one. And all they leave you there with is lies and lies and lies. Whoa.
And we're back. that was fucking awesome, guys. I fucking love it.
It was really
So-
weird watching Justin film us like that.
Dude, he-
Really weird.
You know, he loves to lay down and just do things laying down.
I'm alright with that.
Yeah.
You know?
That was nice.
He gets the angles.
I don't know like how noticeable or he is like when you guys are playing live, if you guys like block everybody out or if you actually like notice things, but he was getting some nut shots of you guys last week.
Yeah, when I play, I usually just try to make eye contact with Justin.
Okay.
Most of the time.
We actually asked him beforehand to get as much below the waist shots as possible.
Yeah.
for
Well,
our
yeah.
benefit.
Make us look taller, please.
Yeah. Yeah. You did a great job.
Yeah, he really gets in there. So okay, I really loved it. I really love your acoustic versions because I've only ever heard you guys play live.
Yeah,
full,
it's different,
full
right?
piece band. Yeah, it's
Very different.
completely different. And I'm on board if you guys are doing acoustic stuff. Like I would love to
Thank
hear
you.
more.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
love it.
Definitely a different sound, and
Mhm.
we actually only thought of this and started doing it yesterday. So I think it's really just
Shut the fuck-
spontaneous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it just kind of came out.
Because I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Because Steve was just like, "Hey, can we do an acoustic set?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I didn't even know you. It
We just
hasn't.
practiced it a couple
Yeah.
times yesterday, and then that was
Shit.
it. And here we are.
That was kind of like a weird reaction I had too. Was like, yeah, why haven't we never even played these songs acoustically? So it was
Yeah.
really cool when we started to that it came out so differently. And for some reason, I guess I
Mm.
wasn't expecting it, and it was surprising in a
Mm.
good way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So are you planning to do more acoustic stuff, or are you thinking about incorporating acoustic stuff into like the regular?
Maybe it'll depend on how good
Style,
this
you know?
recording sounds.
Yeah.
You might say like, "Oh yeah, it's," because it sounds completely different. So
Well, here's the thing is that a lot of the thing that a lot of people don't realize is, you know, you look at like bands like Radiohead and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and they have people handing them guitars like left and right,
Right.
this and that. You know,
Yeah.
for us, you know, we have to carry every single thing
Yeah.
ourselves. You know, so we bring an acoustic guitar. That's another additional amount of
Mhm.
sound check. Majority of the venues that we get, they're like, sound check.
it's not as thorough as you'd think.
What's that?
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
like literally, and so you know when it gets to the point, you know, just to be real, it gets to the point when you're like, okay, what's the first song that we're gonna play? Because the first song that we're gonna play is gonna be our sound check.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
And you play a song that's more like instrumental with like fewer words, and then you can like give signals to the sound guy and
Mhm.
whatnot to get the sound that you're looking for.
Sound guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We've had
yeah.
shows where you couldn't even hear anything at all.
Oh, really?
Where I couldn't hear Graham. I mean, I
Yeah,
could hear Graham,
yeah.
but like when no one could hear their own instruments.
No, the only one that we've had it so that like literally the only person we could hear was Graham.
But he couldn't hear anything, so he didn't really know.
Yeah, we've probably had any technical difficulty you could have as a band so far.
Yeah.
and
So what-
still somehow conquered.
What do you do in a situation? You just keep going?
Well,
We just
Feel
try to
it-
look at each
feel it
other,
out.
and then Graham will watch my fingers. Actually, he's got good vision.
basically, I think I remember St. Patty's Day when we played
Yeah.
an outdoor festival.
That's what I was
We were
talking
the
about.
First band, so we were basically sound checking as we're playing the set because they were
Yeah.
already 2 hours late and starting the
Shit.
show anyway.
Yeah.
which is fine.
But
But
we still got our 45 minutes.
still got the 45.
I made sure we
Yeah.
got our fucking 45
and
minutes.
I remember the monitors weren't set up well enough yet,
No.
and so I couldn't hear anything. I don't think any of us. Could
I couldn't even hear my own instrument. Imagine hitting your own bass and not being able to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's not turned on,
Yeah.
yet the audience can hear it. So it's really
And so,
weird.
That's
we couldn't,
wild.
We couldn't really even talk
It
about
was
it.
really nerve wracking.
Yeah,
But the
'cause-
thing was here's the thing, and this really brought us like, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but this brought like a lot of confidence
Mhm.
like to me, was the fact that you know, I mean, we've Graham's brought up Ian, Steve's brought up Ian, you know, that this is where we're playing on November 10th.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have gotten that gig if he didn't enjoy our sound.
Right.
And this was literally us playing as deaf as you could possibly play. Like literally,
Yeah.
like I was just going. I couldn't even hear like the cymbals for the most part. I could literally just hear the kick drum, like boom.
yeah.
Like just imagine. That's all you hear, and you're just like. You know,
Yeah.
like you're trying to
Yeah.
sing and this and that. You
Yeah.
have no idea. And for our style of music, you know, there's a lot of like trippy effects.
You
Yeah.
need to hear
like that,
everything. Yeah.
and you can't hear it. You
Yeah.
have no idea
Yeah.
like what it sounds like. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Well, I think for that specific time too, we didn't really communicate it at all. But all we could really do in that case was, anytime Steve turned towards the drums, watch his wrist movements to see if you're on time or not, and if he's doing chords or if he's doing single notes, you know if you're in the chorus or the verse or whatever he's doing. You kind of have to just go off the energy and the movements of the players.
Yeah.
And same with Joe, whether he's singing or not. I'm like, he's singing. It's maybe the
Yeah.
verse. I think we're doing it right,
And-
and then you just
Yeah.
keep going.
And we've incorporated
terrifying.
like,
That's wild.
We've incorporated some some things into our playing style too. Like now, like what I'll do is I'll just like take the microphone and like if I'm not ready, I'll just be like, hey, can you guys like just keep looping it?
Yeah.
And I'll just like hold the mic out like that and just.
I've noticed that. I just thought it was something you did.
And I'll just put my head down, like, and it's just kind of like, you know, it turns more into like a stylistic thing.
Yeah.
But in reality, like where it stems from is just communication,
That's great.
and you got to communicate with your band members because that's the only way you're gonna sound good. And when we played Friday night, we had the most like royal fuck up ever. But the thing was, you look at the video back, and like I've had like numerous people that weren't even at the show, just saw the video. Laura took videos and Justin took videos. They saw the videos and they were like, Friday night was my favorite. You know?
Yeah.
So like it's insane like the level of indirect communication that you can get with your band members just by just picking up like random fucking weird choices. Like it's
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
weird.
the more I guess it's like, you know, the more you spend time with each other, it's like you know how like Steve plays, you know how Graham plays, and then they all know how you play. So it's like it's basically like a feeling thing, you know, like
for sure. You can definitely over time understand people's habits or like what people tend to lean towards when they play things, or like what based on their style what they might come up with. And even then, I'm always surprised the most, especially by Steve's bass, because he comes from that punk rock reggae background. But you know, we'll be experimenting and he'll come up with something out of nowhere that's just like, that's extremely progressive, Steve. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
But
Came from you, Graham.
please repeat it.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a song out of there. And that's where
That's awesome.
so much comes
Yeah.
out of is just like accidental, just like, whoa, wait a second, back up real quick
Yeah.
and play that again.
Yeah.
and I think that's what I love the bass line in Animals. I think because it's
Well, that-
it's very like
You can thank Graham for that.
Well,
Most of that is Graham's concept. I just
Really?
threw a little bit in the middle of it. Yeah.
That song is from 7th grade, that bass line, and I just never did anything with it. I don't even remember how we brought it into practice, but Steve just like took it and added so much more to it, and it was like, well, it has to become a song.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially that bridge is so like dynamically
Yeah.
different than the rest of the song.
I didn't come up with that sober, but I'm happy I
I
did.
think that one person was like, I'm just gonna jump to this now.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a collaborative sounding
Yeah.
piece when you're
Yeah.
listening to
Yeah.
it.
That's-
We all added a lot of layers to Animals.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because I've heard that song in both versions, and it's hard for me to pick which one I like best because you know they're almost like two different things
Yeah,
at this point.
definitely.
But man, that blew me. I was smiling ear to ear. I don't know if you guys could see me. I thought my face was gonna rip off.
Right on, dude.
Yeah, it was
Cool.
good. So,
Thanks, man.
so I mean, this song wasn't like too. I don't know. It wasn't like filled with lyrics and like, but it was more. 'Cause when I hear it, it's more of like a feel that I like when I get it. So like, what inspires you to come together and like make a song like this with, or I mean, this is even as a broader question that can go to all your songs. Like when writing songs with lyrics, without lyrics, like what kind of inspires you to do that?
I mean, every song's different, and that's the beauty of it. Like every single song's different. Sometimes they'll we'll all come up with something, and then they'll name the song, and I'll be like, "Fuck, you guys stuck me with a fucking like name. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then other times it's like Animals was just like, you know, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of Animals, it's about greed, you know, and you know, you take the emotions that you're feeling in the room, and you know, you just kind of take it and you funnel it into something, you know, like taking food without eating, some is better than none, burning wood without leaving food for anyone but one, and all they leave you there with is lies and lies and lies, and then it's just
Yeah.
and then they're animals, you know, and that's it. And like,
Yeah, I think that's especially one of my favorite lines is taking food without eating, and I think that's like so cool in a way that it illustrates an image of like humans have become more animalistic than animals are.
exactly.
Animals have more compassion than what these white collar corporate fat cats are stuffing their penny
Exactly.
pockets.
100%.
Exactly.
It's insane.
And
Yeah.
that's like, you know, we're playing together and we're all just fucking vibing,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, like we come together and just fucking happens.
Yeah, a lot of the new stuff usually starts without lyrics. Like our old
Yeah.
stuff, Joe would have like some lyrics written out. We'd
Mhm.
write something, but the newest trend is that it's like the three of us jamming something, or
Mhm.
one of us has something that we build from there, and the lyrics usually come last with the newest stuff.
Yeah.
But that might not continue. It's just how
Yeah.
it's been recently.
Yeah, I think it fits really well too because the jam happens so spontaneously that I feel like in Joe's perspective, I mean, you can definitely piggyback. Like you have to sit with it and see what it makes you feel before you can really just write lyrics towards
exactly.
it. You have to kind of understand that mood that it really creates naturally when you're listening
Well,
to. those riffs.
I'll literally, I'll just get the phone out and I'll record like most of our practice sessions, and then I'll take it home and I'll put it in Logic Pro. I'll
Mhm.
just be like, you know, what can we use, what can we not? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we break into like crazy things and this and that, and then it's just like, okay, you know, this part like I can add lyrics to, and like this part like, you know, I can't, and then it's like, let's figure out together, you know, like what we're gonna do
Right.
from here.
Yeah.
You know, are we gonna do a breakdown or this and that? And so we just, you know, we work together, and yeah, I mean, like bottom line is, I don't know. I mean, I feel great, and the funny thing about all of this is that you know, I want us to get this album out like so bad.
Yeah.
You know, the studio album, and it's gonna take us a lot of work to get this album out. Our live album, you know, after November 10th, we don't have any more chances at our live album for the most part. You know?
Okay.
So like, we have 2 songs for the live album, and they're sounding really, 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 really good. Vultures is one of them, which we're about to play.
Awesome.
And yeah, like the thing is, like, we have like I think 4 or 5 songs, so we're pretty ambitious about the next one. I literally bought a new guitar and a new fucking pedal.
He's ready to go, guys.
Like Johnny Greenwood guitar. How sick was that? I let both
Yeah,
of you
it's
guys
nice.
play. It's the most I've
It's a
ever
game
spent on a
changer.
guitar, and I think it sounds
Yeah.
amazing. Radiohead, right?
Yeah.
The lead guitarist of Radiohead. I bought the exact same guitar, vintage.
Oh, that's sick.
Them.
I love radio. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
And so, like, just to get that fucking meat sound.
Yeah.
And, like, the last, you know, we're real with each other, you know? As difficult as it might be at times, we're real with each
Mhm.
other. And, like, the last time that we met, or the last time we played, you know, Steve's like, hey, it takes you way too fucking long to tune. You know? Blah, blah, this and that. I fucking bought a new tuner, a $100 tuner, and fucking bought a new guitar that stays in tune, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
So
Problem
I
solved.
listen to my fucking boys, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
whatever
it's
I
very
can
much
do.
a collaborative thing. Like you guys
Yeah.
like you don't make a decision without being like Steve yes,
Yeah, it's all
Graham
three.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not voting style.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we have to vote on
Right.
everything. It's like, let's hear each other out, and we'll just kind of mesh something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way, because voting style would, like, I don't think voting style would ever work.
Yeah.
You know?
Because either way, whatever you vote on is going to get changed. And
Yeah.
so what happens is someone brings an idea. It's never going to be the same when it's finally put out.
Right.
Because after the mesh, it's a collaboration, it's a compromise, or it's a new manifestation of what your first idea was. And
Yeah.
so that's really what makes that whole new sound.
And it's whatever
Yeah.
emotions people bring in. Like, if somebody brings in, like, something that's like, you know, hey, this is, like, this means a lot to me to
Yeah.
be done this way.
Like a perfect example, Animals. It wasn't called Animals ever. It was just a song that I had written. He put animals on there. He put the lyrics together. Like, he created the other part of the mood that makes the song what it is, with Steve's bass driving through the whole time.
That's awesome.
And so that's like representative of the whole collaboration right
Yeah.
there.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love it. So we're gonna have you play your next song, Vultures. Can you tell me a little bit about, before you guys start playing? Can you tell me like a little bit about it, like
That's
what
the-
inspires you? But
Ancient scroll song.
I'll give the rundown.
Yeah.
So Vultures basically is a song. It's a very dark song, and normally I like to contrast. I like to make a song that sounds dark actually be light.
Yeah.
and vice versa. But this song is just a dark song in general. And this song was a song that, everyone goes through hard times in their lives.
of course.
And some people cope with things differently, And this song is about addiction. And, anyone who's ever been through any sort of addiction in any way, shape, or form knows that it never leaves you. Spiritually, it will always stay, and you're always going to be fighting back, because in life, nothing's ever perfect,
Of course.
And the thing is you always know that there's an out, but the fact of the matter is that whether or not you choose that out is up to you, and Vultures is about that.
Gotcha.
And we're going to play it now.
Yeah, please do take it away. We'll have you guys play, and then we'll kind of wrap it all up. So awesome! I'm excited to hear it.
I don't wrap it up. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and.
Walk on by them if you dare. They sense your feelings. Are you scared? Are you dreaming? Come on closer, one will scream. I'll show you what is happening. Are you dreaming? Vultures making vultures bones. Vulture cases at his throne. As his subjects, won't you please don't feel it, it's happening. Are you dreaming? Oh, pick you up and let you down. They tell you to look around. Do you see me? Vultures thinking, vultures bones. Vulture king sits at his throne. As his subjects, won't you please me? Run away and you will see. Run and hide, they'll let you go. Everyone comes back, you know. Are you dreaming? Oh, ever when I know you won't. The vultures now control your soul. Are you dreaming? No. Vultures making, vultures bones. Vulture king sits at his throne. As his subjects, won't you please me? Run away and you will see.
And we're back.
Just like that.
Just like that. Guys, that was phenomenal. I fucking love it. I love you guys.
I love
we
you
loved
too,
it
man.
too.
What did you think, Justin?
I had a blast.
He had a blast.
A literal blast in his pants. A blast.
Justin, I think
Out of which
Justin is like your groupie. I think I would call him your groupie.
Justin's like one of the bears in Bear Squared.
I am the.
You're talking to a microphone, buddy. Any of them. Just into one.
I'm the official videographer for Bear Squared. So
I would agree.
I think we're all in agreement of that. And
Only if you take your shirt off.
always.
Yeah. Thank
No.
you.
Yeah.
That was hot.
Oh, you meant now.
That-
That was great. I loved it. I really did. I so appreciate you guys coming on and doing this.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. It's
Maybe we'll
been,
do it again when the album's done.
It's been a treat.
That could be a goal.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Let you know how
Yeah, please.
hard or easy it was or wasn't.
Yeah, I definitely want to know how like your experience goes with getting, your live album done, and I definitely want to check in and like the process of like when it's out there and like how you're gonna keep promoting it and like
Yeah.
where Bear Squared goes
That's-
after that.
The studio album, that'll be the one that I honestly don't know when that'll be done, but that will be the one. That'll be the conversation
Yeah.
that will be like the really good one to have.
Yeah.
It'll be done soon enough, for sure.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm really excited to hear it.
We're good.
and see
Like
it.
the thing is it's crazy how much or how long you can be playing the same songs over and over
Mhm.
and still come up with new ideas.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and Steven, you can attest to this too, is when you write a script, it's like you have the first draft, but by the time you get ready to shoot it, you're on draft 15. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the same, it's that one idea, but you have something completely different. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing, but it's way better. It's, all these little people like saying, oh, maybe try this, or like even your circle of people that have been working on it. It's like, how
Yeah.
about these little things? And it's like,
The album
I
must be a lot
didn't-
more thorough
yeah.
than what we play live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very thorough.
in the meantime, until we meet again, you can always find us on Instagram at Bear Squared Band. Any in progress will be posted as
Yeah.
videos.
Facebook
we'll-
as well.
We'll link it all
Exactly.
below. And
Yeah.
do you guys have any
Yeah.
personal pages that you want people to follow?
Only Bear Squared.
Only Bear
Yeah.
Squared? All right.
We'll steal from there.
And Wazzy. Check out Wazzy. They're an amazing band. Joe's wearing the shirt. Speaks
Shout out
for
to
itself.
Wazzy.
How could you not go see that live?
And you guys know where to find Justin.
He'll be right below us,
Justin.
just taking vids as usual.
Exactly. Right below the belt.
Good old Justin.
and Ian Down.
And
SKR,
Ian
Oh, yeah,
SKR
and Ian.
Studios.
Okay.
SKR Studios,
Yes.
Ian Down. We're doing a private party for them on Saturday night.
Yes, I will
They're
be
doing a
there.
Private party for us.
No, we're gonna do it for them when we get there.
We're gonna do that one.
We're gonna
Any-
grace them with a 45-minute set of
It's going to be
heaven.
a great record.
I have a surprise
I'm
for
so
these two.
excited to see
These
it.
guys, I have a trick up my sleeve for them for the next show.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
They know
We
it.
know it.
It's gonna be.
What a trip.
It's gonna be a good one. It's very Bear Squared.
And
It's the most Bear Squared anything
I'm-
we could do
I'm
performance-wise.
open for. Hey, bring up the if
Album
you
name?
want. Yeah.
Not yet. No, next time.
Okay.
Next time, because
Save
it's not until because if it's not, then it's gonna look weird.
if
But
it's not, then it's not.
we have a good
That's why
we have a
we're
good concept for an
Okay.
album name that
We live
I
there.
heard and it blew me away. So
You'll tell
next
me off
time.
air.
Exactly.
Any last piece of advice you'd like to give young people?
Never give
or
up on your
aspiring people?
dreams.
That's good.
Things can seem pretty gross, but just don't be a pessimistic person, and you'll do fine. Look
Yeah.
at the beauty. You can come out to LA and see so much competition, but if you look at it and see opportunity, then it changes your whole look on everything.
Yep.
And that's the way to tackle in football.
And always kiss and hug.
Yeah, if you're in Hollywood, kiss.
Well, thank you guys so much. Joe, did you have any advice? No.
I like to speak for Joe and
Okay.
just say that.
Joe won't stop staring at Justin right
I don't
now,
want-
so he's kind of speechless.
I don't want to say things right now.
Okay.
No.
All right. We'll let the music speak for
Yep.
itself.
We'll let the music speak for itself, and maybe I'll come back with a solo thing that I
Yeah.
say.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast, and I'm excited that you guys are my first musical guests. And
Thanks for having us, man. It's an
of
honor and a
course.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you guys. Make sure to check out Bear Squared. Check out all their fantastic work they're doing and that they will do. You can find them on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Harrison Burger, Twitter Harrison C Burger, and make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts. And I will see you next week. Love you all. Thanks for listening. That's a cut.
Harmony. Bear Squared.
Oh.
Bear Squared. Bear Squared. Bear Squared.
Cut.